So, welcome everybody to the strategy session Sunday. Today, what we're going to be talking about today, how we like to start everything off is first, I like to start everything off with some mindset, guys. We love talking about some mindset. First things first, and after that, we're going to be talking about some rapid cash injection strategies. And at the end of that, we're going to open up some questions. But to start, let's talk about some mindset, guys. Let's talk about the type of mindset that you need to have to be able to just be in this game. Yesterday, I was actually having a talk with one of my buddies, and he was like, "Blade, what do I have to do? Like, can you just give me some basic strategies that I should have in terms of just like getting started? I'm getting started in a business." And I was like, "Whoops, I got all these books here. Give me a second. Technical difficulties is knocking all these books. All right, whoops. Stay there. Cool. All right. What I was saying is, yeah, what are some basic uh things that you should recommend before kind of getting started? And I was like, bro, there's a couple of things. First is that you need to develop a certain mindset in order really to just kind of get started. You got to think of this business over here that you're starting as a means to take care of yourself, a means to take care of your family, a means to provide you some generational wealth, you know? So whatever you're gonna do, regardless of whatever you're gonna do, affiliate marketing, marketing agency, even if you're doing your own credit card company or your own construction company or whatever you might be doing, the first thing that you need to do is ask yourself, do you really see myself doing this for like the rest of my life? Because ultimately, whatever you do, everybody that's watching this video, I can already tell you guys are hustlers. Just because you're watching this video already means to me that you have that mentality that you're not going to take no for an answer. You're going to make it there by any means necessary. You're going to hustle. You're going to work your ass off, mainly because you're taking the initiative to come over here, watch the books fall, and come over here and just listen to this. So what I'm trying to say is that regardless of whatever you're going to do, you're going to make it. But the first thing that you need to really understand is that nothing is going to become instantly. There's no such thing as like instant gratification like that, especially in terms of business and making some money, you know. There's no such thing as quick money. There's no such thing as really winning the lottery is the best way of saying it. Because this past week, I've been calling a lot of buddies, networking with my friends, people that are making day trading, that are making $80,000 a trade. I've been talking to people that have agencies that are making more than upwards of 100, 200K every single month just on a marketing agency. I've been talking to people that have a credit card company that's making around a grand a day, just closing these guys. You know, I know people that have real estate companies that are absolutely freaking killing $1 million months. You know, what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, these numbers they're big, they're cool, they're amazing goals. But two things you got to really realize on that. First of all, is that there's always going to be somebody above you, and there's always going to be someone below you. There's always going to be someone doing better than you, and there's always going to be someone doing worse than you. So really, to what extent are you going to keep on trying to get better and better? Because no matter what, no matter how much money you make, you're going to realize that there's always going to be somebody with more money than you. So it's really impossible to be able to be like, hey, there's like, to what end really is what is it? So the first thing you even need to figure out is what's your purpose in all this? Why are you doing this? Because the reason to just get better than everybody else can't really be a reason, you know. The reason to just make money can't really be a reason, because there's always people gonna be more money than you, and you always get jealous. So first things first, you need to really just understand and be purposeful that you're really just doing this for your own reasons. You're doing this to keep yourself safe. You're doing this to keep your family safe. You're doing this to help people out. You're doing this to do all these other things, you know, helping. For me, I love the feeling of helping people make money and start businesses and automate their businesses so that they can have the financial freedom to go Airbnb hop, to go to a beach and enjoy time with their family, to feel that as though they're safe, you know, with just enjoying doing the things that they love to do. That's one of my purposes. That's the first thing I developed, is I instantly realized there's no way possible that I'm ever going to stop, you know. There's no way that there's not going to be someone always making more money than me or better than me in certain ways, you know. You need to first develop that mindset. You're not doing this to become better than everybody else, but you're doing this because you want to. Second thing that you need to realize is that in this feat of building up this business, another thing that you need to realize is going along with, you need to realize is that whatever you're going to do, regardless you're going to do, you're going to have troubles. Like I said, those people that are making all that money before, those people only really just made more mistakes than you. They learned more lessons than you. You know, you can't take, I mean, you're going to be going through this road. The entrepreneurial journey is quite literally like this, you know, in which case time spent and success it's going to be like this. It's going to be a rocky road as you go all the way up to the top, you know? So regardless of whatever you're doing, I always recommend to people to make sure that they're super just passionate about it. You're building some sort of business to either give yourself some more financial freedom or to build some sort of generational wealth, either through passive income, through active income, however you're doing it. You need to be able to have something that you are passionate enough about that you can roll with the punches. You know, not everything's gonna be easy. You're gonna have times where you're just beating your head on the wall and just pissed off and annoyed at yourself, you know, but you need to be able to still be in the game, be passionate enough about what you're doing, be able to roll with the punches, to be able to take those punches and take them as a person and just learn from them and put your ego to the side, understand that people that are more successful than you, they only had just more lessons that they learned, you know, and so that eventually as you're just taking these lessons, you're going to get used to it. You're going to understand that, you know, the next lesson that's coming up, I'm going to learn how to dodge that. I'm going to learn how to dodge and weave a little bit so that I can become better, you know. And so regardless of what you're doing, you need to be able to have passion in it too. And then the final thing that I really want to go over here is that in order, whatever business that you're going to have, you also, and it's mandatory, is that you need to first believe. Now, I remember this week, I was actually making a couple of videos about this because it's so highly important. And I got someone over here just text me for this link here. But what I'm trying to say is that it's super important that you yourself believe that you're going to do it. You yourself need to believe that you're going to make it. You yourself need to believe that you can build a business that's generating you 500, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, $1 million of days. You know, you need to really believe in yourself to do it because ultimately nobody else will. There's no such thing as like free handouts. There's no such thing as people giving you a whole bunch of money. There's no such thing as other people building businesses for you. Ultimately, you need to do that yourself, you know? And the only person that's really going to be your biggest supporter, the one person that's really going to be there for you the entire time is you yourself. And think about it like this: if you don't believe in yourself, who will? So what you need to do is you need to be confident enough, you have enough self-belief to understand that you yourself can do it. Because what I've really found to really just be the truth is that it's like a two-step process in this, you know. First, you gotta believe. And the second thing, you gotta actually take initiative. You gotta do the work, you know. But what I find is that when you believe yourself first, everything else follows. And as long as you're taking initiative to take upon opportunities that come to you, everything else will follow, you know. So one thing for me is that, you know, we're every single day as an entrepreneur, we have new struggles, new decisions we need to make, new things that we just gotta accomplish and problems we gotta solve. But and it sometimes can be frustrating, sometimes it can be overwhelming. But the thing is, what I've always found is that when I have all these problems coming at me and I might not be able to figure it out right then and there, but what I do understand is that I can figure it out. I can figure it out. I can figure out this problem. So usually what ends up happening is that either go to sleep, take a nap, or I go to the gym, or I hang out with my girl, or we go to the beach, or we chill a little bit. And then what I realize is that when I'm not really paying attention to it subconsciously, my mind is always thinking about that problem. And then after a while, when I'm not thinking about it, my mind just comes up with a solution. And it's so weird because it happens so randomly. And I hear the dogs going absolutely crazy right now. Let me see. Do I have headphones over here? Give me a quick second. Quick second. You pause this. Hello, hello. Wait. on to think. All right, cool. All right, before I got rudely interrupted by this dog, what I was saying is that the first thing that you need to do is you need to make sure that you believe in yourself. Like I was saying, you need to really make sure that you believe in yourself. Is what I found is that every single day as an entrepreneur, you're always going to have problems. There's always going to be something else. There's always going to be another struggle. There's always going to be something that happens. And you yourself, if you don't believe in yourself, who will? So the first that you really need to do, the first thing that anything, you need to believe in yourself. And I always find that even though I have all these problems coming at me, all these struggles coming at me, all these different things, these different hurdles, what I find is that if you believe in yourself, the solution will follow. I forgot who the guy was, a famous philosopher that said that if you can relate the problem, if you can properly say the problem, the equation, whatever it might be, you got the first half of the problem already solved. The hardest part is that self-belief. The hardest part is understanding the problem and believing that you can solve the problem. I always find that, yeah, I might not be able to solve the problem right then and there, but subconsciously my mind puts into motion thinking, puts into motion all these different solutions. And then usually when if I go take a nap or I go to the gym or I go to the beach or I hang out with some people, my mind is always thinking about it, and then it solves the problem. Now, I actually got this book I was reading, and it was an amazing it was an amazing little quote in this book. I actually want to kind of read out here if I can find this really quick. It was saying how not necessarily intelligence is important, but what's really important is the intelligence behind it. Here it is. Okay. The thinking that guides your intelligence is much more important than the actual intelligence that you have. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because what's really important is that you're able to have the intelligence to solve those problems. It's not necessarily important that you actually are just memorizing these different facts, but it's really important that you yourself have the self-belief and the self-intelligence to be able to solve those problems and the confidence to be able to solve those problems, even though it's not right then and there. As long as you yourself are confident in yourself to believe that you can solve that, you can make a difference, that you can really just become the person that you want to be, subconsciously, your mind will take steps into action to allow yourself to get there. Now, it's pretty interesting because there's this book, what's it called? How to Live 365 Days a Year. It's by a doctor named Dr. Schindler. And what he said statistically, that in the hospital, now this is going to seem absolutely freaking insane. In the hospital, around 3 to 4 patients are self-diagnosed are self-diagnosed, as in 3 or 4 patients, they think that they're sick, which is why they're in the hospital, but they're not necessarily sick. So what that means is that our mindset plays a massive importance on how you're feeling. If that statistic is true, and I'm sure it is, 3 out of 4 patients are self-diagnosed as sick that are in the hospital and they don't really need to be. Our mindset is thinking that we're sick so that we go to the hospital. And it's absolutely crazy because I can have a plethora of stories where friends and family are in the hospital, but they're not actually sick, but they don't allow themselves to get better. My dad's sister was in the hospital and she was sick and she didn't let herself get better. I've other friends from college and high school where, let me give you another example over here. One of my buddies, when I was running track over in college, okay, I was a really good runner, and I did face a couple of hip problems. As I was doing like 10 miles a day, going to the gym for like 2 hours, and swimming for like a mile or two. What I'm trying to say is that every now and then I'll get a little hip problems. And what I find is that what I find is that other people had some problems as well too. But what I find is that before a race, before anything, because I believed that I was going to win the race, because I believed that I was okay, that I was going to be able to make it to the race, other people struggled completely during those races. What I find is that the power of just overall just self-belief is way more powerful than any other type of intelligence that you can ever have. So before doing anything, you need to first believe in it. Okay. And I know I've been ranting today. It's a little bit longer of a mindset Sunday, but I just want to really make sure this gets out to you, because that statistic, when I read that statistic, that 3 out of 4 patients are self beliefs that they have to go in the hospital, and that's why they're in the hospital. I'm sure I'm butchering up that statistic, how they said it themselves. They said it a lot cleaner. I can pull it up, but I don't want to waste your time. What I'm trying to say is that the fact that that's true, that 3 out of 4 patients believe that they need to be in the hospital, which is why they are, just goes to show that what you think happens. If you're constantly thinking negative about stuff, if you're constantly thinking that you can't do it, if you're constantly thinking pessimistic, you're constantly thinking with a victim mentality where the world kind of runs on my shoulder or something like that, that's what's going to happen. But if you're the type of person that's constantly thinking that I'm going to make it, I'm going to become a millionaire, I'm going to become a billionaire, there's not a lot of trillionaires out there, but I'm going to become a trillionaire. Your mind starts to put into action how to become a trillionaire. And then what I find is that by setting apart goals, that's great, self-belief and all, but one other thing is that belief doesn't really happen without a plan. Well, a belief doesn't really happen without motion, without incentive, and incentive doesn't really happen without a plan. So in addition to having belief in yourself, you also need to have action. Okay, that's just common sense. But in addition to that, you also need to have a freaking plan. So myself and I, what I make sure is that I always have, I structure out my plans. They always say that that you can really tell someone's wealth by how long of a thinking that they think. So if you ask somebody, all right, how much money you got, and they're gonna be like, all right, I got $1,000 on me. Or compared to somebody that's like, hey, I'm gonna have 10,000, 50,000 in the next 2-3 months. What I'm trying to say is that mindset's a little different. It's that you need to think with goals in mind. And I always find that the best way to really do that is having 10-year goals, 5-year goals, 3-year goals. Well, at least this works for me. 3-year goals, 1-year goal, maybe 3. Actually, I structure mine 6 month, 3 month, 1 month, and 1 week, 1 day. As in, let me move my camera a little bit to the side over here. Today, what am I going to do today? This week, what do I want to accomplish this week? I want to close X amount of clients this week. This month, I want to make sure that I hire X amount of staff. I want to make sure that I'm sending out by the end of this month. I want to make sure that at least 100K emails go out. And I'm also opening up a bunch of more social media accounts. I want another 20 more social media accounts this month, 3 months from now, 6 months down the line, 1 year. I need to make sure I want to have another house, a permanent house that I buy over here in Puerto Rico. So me and my girl actually love it over here. 3 years down the line, I want to be able to have maybe like 2 houses. 5 years, 10 years, 10 years, I want to have a house in Dubai or something like that. What I'm trying to say is that by having your goals down like this, I always recommend either writing it down or having somewhere that you can just see it every single day. Really subconsciously, what that's doing is it's teaching your mind that, hey, I believe that I can do this. I believe that in 10 years, I'm going to have a beautiful house in Dubai. Okay. And then in those 10 years, my mind is because I'm seeing that those goals every single day, my mind subconsciously is going to put plans into action to be able to figure out how am I going to get there, because a normal 9-to-5 job is not going to get me to a beautiful, probably $10 million mansion over in Dubai, penthouse in Dubai. So you need to be able to think bigger. And in order to be able to do that, you need to have a plan. Okay. And in order to do that, you need to make action. You need to take action. In order to do that, you need to have self-belief. All this kind of just comes together to be able to create the perfect life that you want to have, So if you guys haven't done this yet, if you get anything out on this, and I know after this, we'll talk about some more client acquisition strategies, But if you get anything out of this, the most important is that first you need to have belief in yourself, okay? So that subconsciously you're going to be able to create some sort of plan. And what you need to make sure is that you take action, and then you write up some sort of plan like this, okay? So yeah, I know it might sound weird, but you're actually going to have to do some brainstorming, go in front of a notepad and pencil and just think, how do you want to have your life? How do you see your life being? How do you want to have your life in the next year, in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years? Do you want to have a boat in the next year? Do you want to have 2 houses in the next year? My girl and I are always talking about having a farmstead. We want to buy like 60 acres over in Texas, and we want to put our families in little different cabins around it, have a nice little lake in it with a nice boat, and we want to have a farmstead over there. We want to have a couple of horses, plenty of dogs. We love dogs, but that's our 5-year goal over there. We want to have a nice farmstead with around 50 to maybe 80 acres. So make sure that you do have a plan. Make sure that you have a plan to know what you're shooting for, what you want to have. Because a man with a plan is just not going to go anywhere. A dumb person with a plan will be a smart person without a plan every single time. And I don't know what philosopher said that, but whatever philosopher said that was a freaking genius. Absolutely right. I always found that if I just at least just had a plan, ever since I started this, when I started this in the very beginning, I was making a whole lot of mistakes. It doesn't matter, but because I had a plan, I was able to overcome those mistakes. But because I had a plan, I was able to then get to the place I want. I was able to drop out of college, get a beautiful house over here in Puerto Rico, running ads. Last couple of months, we were running like $250,000 worth of ads. I'm so proud of me and my team, but that could not have happened without having a plan. Ain't no way nobody's gonna trust me with $1,000 a day budgets if I didn't have a plan, or if I didn't learn how to do that. What I'm trying to say is that you need to make sure you have a plan. Okay. All right. Enough of Mindset Sunday. Now let's talk about some client acquisition strategies. Because I had another buddy over here talking to me about some acquisition strategies. Yo, Blair, I need a rapid cash injection. What are your go-to strategies? Because I have a couple people asking this. Let me take a sip of my coffee, guys. By the way, we discovered is that when you put like coconut or like even butter, I know my dad does butter, into your coffees, I absolutely love that because it gives you a lot of energy from it. The fats in the coconut it's very densely and has a high caloric density in it. In which case, the coconut in it just keeps you a lot of energized for a longer period of time. Comparison of like putting creamer in your coffee, cooked creamer. Sugar is like short-term energy. I've always found, and this is me, my inner nerd track of me talking, is that fats have the most energy for the longest amount of time. Carbs, middle, sugars, least amount of energy. I mean, it's a lot of energy, but short period of time. What I'm trying to do is over here, client acquisition strategies. Let's go. Client acquisition strategies. All right, so if I ever need a rapid cash injection strategy, if I ever need some rapid cash really quick so that I can maybe either put it into another project where I can take it and maybe help me out with an emergency, or maybe I take it and I put it in some ads to generate me passively some more income. What I would do is there's a couple of my go-tos. First one to talk about is honestly probably the most simplest. They're probably the most often overlooked because it's just so simple, but it requires work. Okay, that's the thing. Simple is just cold calling. Okay, I'm trying to write me here because a lot of you guys are telling me that my handwriting is hieroglyphics, but I'm trying to get better for you guys. All right, and there's a current way to structure your cold calling. There's obviously cold calling. There's people that kind of know of you a little bit better. There's people that have talked to you frequently. So I'm gonna structure this out from cold calling to people that maybe have seen your brand before. So let's talk about like this. Cold calling. Let's do underneath here is calling leads that know you. Because there's a total different tonality between just straight up cold calling somebody that does not know you at all compared to somebody that might know you as well, you know? So when you're cold calling, what I find that really seems to work the best is that as soon as you call somebody up that doesn't know you, they're immediately like, oh, this guy's trying to freaking sell me on something. I don't want to talk to them. Usually they just hang up. So what I always find to work the best is that, and I know this might sound a little weird, is that when you call these people up and you seem like you're, for lack of better words, kind of like a little bit below them, you know, because if you come in too highly authoritative, too highly expert into a straight up cold call, people will be like, who the F does this guy think he is? Calling me, acting like he knows me better than my own business, whatever. So I always find when you're straight up cold calling people, you know, I have a script that I use commonly. And the script kind of goes like this. Hello, I don't know if I am reaching the right person, and if I'm wrong, please pass in the right way. But is this the person I'm talking to, X, Y, and Z? Because I want to be able to help with X, Y, and Z. And then after that, then you introduce yourself, your name, and stuff like that. What I'm trying to say is that when you hop into this call, let's say you're calling a roofing business, okay? I'm like, and let's say you're offering marketing services, you know, let's say you're offering, I don't know, Facebook ads, or let's say website development. You just want to build a website for them. Hey, I don't know if this is the right person I should be talking to. And if I'm wrong, please, if you don't mind, somebody help me out with the right person. You know, right now, ask them to help me out. You know, when you ask somebody to help you out, you know, they're more inclined to want to do so. People want to help you out. You know, I want to say 7 to 8 out of 10 times that you ask somebody to help you out, they're going to want to help you out. So, hey, I don't know if I'm asking the right person, and if I'm missing the ball, please, if you can, just direct me to the right person. But I'm looking for whoever's in charge of marketing in this XYZ roofing company, you know, or whoever's in charge of making decisions for American roofing, for example, you know, and they're usually like, oh yeah, no worries. Ralph is usually a great person to go there. You know, a lot of times what I find is that on top of that, if they go to Ralph, they're usually like, all right, either you're gonna have to go through another gatekeeper, another person that's gonna have to go in front of you, or you're gonna have to go to the email, or then give you a number, you know, might get lucky with a number. And then from there, once you actually talk to the right decision maker, then you kind of change around your tonality. You speak more about like, hey, now I'm the expert. But when you're first breaking into that cold call, you don't want to come in as the expert right away, because they're just gonna shut you down, be like, yo, you're spam. I don't want to talk to you. Who this person thinks I am. This guy already just calling me out of just the call, already providing no value. I don't want to waste time with him, you know? But if you call them up with that, like, hey, I'm kind of below you. Can you do me a favor? I don't want to intrude. I find that you have a lot more success with it. And then what I've always been told, I mean, not what I'm told, what I find that works is not right off the back introducing yourself, because they don't really give a SHIT about you, but instead, rather than introducing yourself, really say, hey, I'm looking for X. I'm looking for the marketing division, or if you, better yet, if you know the company owner's name, I'm looking for Rob because I want to help him with X. You know, I want to help him make more money. You know, usually the offers are like, I want to help you make more money, I want to save you money, or I want to save you time. Those are the three offers that really provide the most value. You know, that's cold calling. You know, calling leads that you already know, and that's a completely different story, because when you're calling up leads that you already know, you're going to want to come in as confident. You're going to want to come in as knowing your SHIT. You're going to want to come in as an expert already, because you don't need to kind of feel lower than them, because you don't need to break the barrier, break the ice. So when you're calling leads that you already know, the people that have the most high quality, that like, if I need a rapid cash injection strategy, this is what I'm probably gonna call up. First, I'm probably gonna call up people that recently have a failed transaction. You know, two, I'll probably call people that abandoned cart. I'll probably call three people that became leads. And four, I mean, leads. I would do actually, yeah, leads over here, and maybe this might be from some freebie you offered somebody or something like that. Okay. But I'm talking about leads, as in, let's say you set up a funnel, you got a landing page over here, you got a schedule, and you got a thank you over here. You know, that's as soon as you hit the landing page, you have a lead form over here where they give us the name, email, and phone number, but they don't schedule. So if they fill out the lead form, but they don't schedule over here, then that's what I'm talking about, this lead over here. Freebie, I'm talking about is you have like a freebie funnel that, hey, I'm going to give you this training, or I'm going to give you this free ebook in exchange for your name, email, and phone number. Then that's what I'm talking about with the freebie. You know, all right. So this is the order of like highest quality, most likely to convert, all the way down here to least likely to convert. So what does that mean? Is that if you need a rapid cash injection strategy, the first people I'm going to go to is I'm going to go to the people that failed the transaction. Because that's simple as, I know that might be the most stressful, because it's not necessarily an awkward conversation, but you feel awkward. Whoops, I just hit that. Whoops, my bad. But you feel awkward. I just totally effed up this camera. But you feel awkward calling with these people. You know, it's just mindset where you don't want to remind people to pay. But when you actually start doing it, you know, it's the thing is, I forgot who said it, but you know, you're always afraid of doing an action, but when you actually do it, you know, action is what overcomes fright. You know, it's kind of like when you're about to go cliff jumping and you're staring over the cliff and you start thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. You're not going to do it. You're only psyching yourself out. But then when you actually just go to that cliff and you just jump off and you jump into that water, you know, all your fear goes away. You start yelling, you're happy, like, yeah, just jump into that water. What I'm trying to say is that if you, right before you do it, you start overthinking it, you know, your fear kicks in. But the only motivating factor to beat fear is action. Okay, so you need to take action. So this is the highest quality, but it probably has the most fear. Ask people to just pay you the money that they owe you. You know, but that's where you're going to get the most money. That's the easiest way to get money from people. And from here, you have a failed transaction. You know, let's say you're calling people up. My go-to is like, hey, this is Blade. I noticed that I noticed that your last membership payment didn't go through. I wanted to see was there maybe it's just a Wi-Fi error, or maybe there's an issue on there, or maybe you think that we weren't providing enough value, or maybe we weren't helping you with X, Y, Z. I just want to call up and see if I can provide any value. You know, my go-to statement when I'm dealing with leads that know me, that have come to me, that I've talked to before, is like, how can I provide the most amount of value? So over here, it's going to be like the failed transaction. I don't immediately be like, hey, pay me money. I'm like, hey, can I provide you any other value in exchange? Hey, you also forgot to pay your last month, you know? But it's really just like having another conversation with people, because nobody, and I have never seen this, nobody's gonna be a complete like dickhead to you, you know. I mean, some people are, but you don't need those people in your life anyway. Just hang up on them. What I'm trying to say is that if you're calling up these people and generally trying to provide value in exchange for them paying the last month's membership fee, you're not really going to have too many problems. Because if you show them that you actually care and that you actually want to help them, usually it's just because maybe they changed their card, or usually it's just because something may not have worked in the membership and they might have just wanted to reach out to you before they pay the next month to really see if it's still a good fit, because maybe they lost confidence in your product or service. So you're going to go up to them and be like, hey, how can I provide you some extra value? Hey, guess what? We got this new thing that we just launched. Have you tried it out yet? Things like that. You know, next one over here is abandoned cart. You're going to call out these people, and this kind of makes sense. It's like, hey, I noticed that you're interested in front of Hacker Labs. Hey, I know you're interested in front of Hacker Labs, but I saw that you didn't continue to complete your membership. You know, is there anything that you might have questions with? Or is there any other value that I might be able to provide you? Or is there a way that, or is there any questions that you might have? You know, is there any value I can provide you? Or is there anything that might have kind of just stopped you from doing so that we can learn how to become better? You know, is there anything that we're missing? Things like that. Like, generally seeming like interested in helping them out will get them to, we'll bring them back in, as I'm trying to say. If you just call these people like, yo, pay me money. Yo, what the F? You didn't pay. You didn't finish up your cart sequence. You know, you didn't finish the funnel and ended up paying me money. That's not really going to work. But if you're calling up these people that abandon the cart, you know, maybe they filled out the lead form but didn't buy. You're calling these people generally saying, hey, how can I provide more value? Then these people are most of the time going to be like, okay, this guy actually cares. This guy seems like he wants. There we go. We're back. We're back, everybody. I lost. Yeah, I lost Wi-Fi for a second, but all right, glad everybody still got everybody here. All right, cool. Now we're back at it. So what I was saying is that it's still recording. We're Gucci. We're good. We're good. All right. So what I was saying with the vending card, to kind of summarize, is that you call them up, you try to provide value in exchange, getting them to complete. Try to answer their questions in exchange of getting them to continue the vending, having to go through the cart and actually pay. Next one is leads. Same thing. Hey, I want to provide some more value. How can I help? We got this new freebie that we put out here, the 2-week challenge or something like that. Maybe you just want to try this out. Maybe money might be an issue. If my $997 price tag was too much, I got this other thing that I could help you out with. Or what we could do is we can split apart the payments into 3 different payments, $300 each, in the matters of 2-3 months. Negotiate with them. These are all just conversations you're having with people. Everybody's normal people. Just because you might be calling like $100 million company doesn't change the fact that you're still talking to a person and that you can have a conversation with this person. It was so cool because I was in Florida. I was in Miami, Florida, as helping the client set up some AI integrations into his business. He had like an ERC business, and it was so interesting how this guy right in front of me, as I was setting up, I was working with his team. This guy goes off, he handles a call, and I hear him in the other room handling this call. And he was talking about he was selling a call center. He was selling a call center to another company. And while he was selling this call center, I was like, I noticed the number. It was $100,000 he selling this call center for. Okay, and he sold this call center in under 20 minutes. I've sold packages of up to like 2-3 grand in under 20 minutes, but I personally never sold anything more than $100,000 myself. What I'm trying to say is that my conversations to sell $1,000 product or $2,000 product or $5,000 product was just about the same conversation that this person had to sell $100,000 product. And it was incredible because it took 20 minutes and he made 100 grand right in front of me. What I'm trying to say is that regardless on the number, regardless how much this person is making, it's still going to be the same thing. This person is still a person. You can still talk like a person. And I thought that was just interesting because of what they taught me on it. All right. Next thing over here. So we talk about this, talk about freebies. All right. We talk about cold calling as a way of generating us some more clients, some more money. Let's talk about a couple other things, a couple other rapid cash injection strategies. One of my other favorites over here, and I keep on moving this camera back and forth, excuse me for that. But one of my other favorite ones over here is to Facebook group hustling, Facebook and Instagram hustling, as I call it. Facebook group. Now, this is like my favorite one. Because this is how I really started out. Back when I was in college, I used to be a personal trainer, and I only stopped that because I was more passionate about marketing than personal training, but that's besides the point. Is that when I first started my personal training business, what I really found that got me a lot of clients was Facebook group hustling. And the way I did it was I related with people. I made sure that I was very, very specific in the niche that I was using. And I was helping people lose weight that were also video gamers, that were people that were playing video games and addicted to it. So I was able to relate to that. I wasn't really a crazy grain gamer, but every now and then I would play like Call of Duty Zombies. So what I did is I went to Facebook groups specifically about video gaming and specifically about zombie video gaming. And what I did is I became as the expert in those 3 groups. I had 3 main groups. Okay, one of them might have been like zombies gaming. Another one might have been on an X and YZ group. Okay, what I did is I made sure that in these 3 groups I was posting every day. Okay, Because what I really wanted to do is I really want to become known as that go-to guy that has to do with fitness and gaming. I wanted to become known as that guy with the six-pack that was also playing zombie games with everybody else. I wanted to become known as that go-to guy so that whenever whenever some dude has a date, they go to me to lose some weight so that they can feel a lot more confident for when they go to a date. And that's exactly what happened. It's exactly what worked. I can remember to this day, my first client, literally my first client, he came to me because it's exactly the avatar that I had. I always pictured it was going to be this really big dude, going on his first date. He's gaming all the time in front of his TV, he's playing this video game, but he finally gets his date and he wants to try some weight off and wants to feel more confident for this date. I always picture that, and that's exactly what happened. Is that because I was known as a fitness guru in this group, because I was constantly talking to these guys about fitness in this group, because I was constantly DMing all these people about fitness in this group, especially the people with the profile pictures where they look a little bigger. I was always DMing these people. People started referring me more clients that wanted to go on dates and feel just a little bit more confident. So I'm trying to say, as a rapid cash injection strategy, is finding a couple of groups that are active. Finding a couple of groups that are active, doesn't have a lot of spam, that have at least 10, 20,000 members and above. In which case, you can go in and you can start hustling. And you can start hustling your ASS off. In which case, you can go in those groups, DM people, put up polls on there, put up value on there, put up videos on there, put up all these different things to really just show that you're an expert in the field. And I can guarantee you that if you do what I call the 100 reach out strategy, and I will talk about this in the end of this, you're going to be getting clients. Okay, I can guarantee that. In which case, you reach out, make 100 calls, 100 DMs to people. And then the last one is 100 emails. When I was in college and I was like, I want to say struggling to pay the rent, but because I was always kind of a hustler, this is what I would do. This is literally what I would do, is that I would call up 100 business owners, okay? I would call up, and this would be every day, on top of my engineering work, on top of having a life, on top of going to classes, make 100 calls a day. I would do 100 DMs out to people in my Facebook groups. I would do 100 emails out, okay? Every single day. And guess what? It worked. It might seem like overly simple, it might seem like whatever, but this is what works. It takes a lot of work, but it works, And then eventually what I did is I automated by getting some virtual assistants. But before I get into there, let me talk about the next one. The next one is, oh, by the way, the final thing about Facebook groups is that you really want to pick a niche that, like, let's say you have a marketing agency, okay? You don't only want to go to marketing agency groups because that's what everybody is doing. My final point in this, when you're hustling in Facebook groups, is that you want to make sure that you really, really narrow down your niche. Narrow down your niche so that nobody else is doing that. So you're doing the 1% of things that 99% of people that won't do. Okay, so really narrow down that niche. And the final thing is emails. Okay, I love emails. Right now, me and my team, last month, we were sending out around 20 to 30,000 emails a day. We're trying to scale that SHIT up. So that's gonna be insane, 50, 75,000 emails a day. Because it works. You're not gonna continue to do something because it doesn't work, so emails. All right, the reason why I'm saying emails is because people, now you might be thinking that people receive so much spam email every single day, which is absolutely true. I receive so much spam email, it's actually insane. If I go over here and I just look up my notification of my emails, I'm pretty sure it's over 1,000. Where's my mail? Mail 999 plus. What I'm trying to say is that I get a lot of emails. I'm sure you do too. But the thing is, the business professionals, people that are actually making money, you might not think they don't, but people that are actually have a business, solid business, everyone checks their emails because business happens in the emails. I was watching this documentary with Mark Cuban, okay? and Mark Cuban said that in order to get, if you want to get in contact with Mark Cuban, you can't call him, you can't text him. He's immediately going to block you. He says that his texting is for his friends and family only. If you want to do business with Mark Cuban, you have to email him. And a lot of people are kind of the same way. Like, I don't like receiving calls too much. I don't like receiving texts. I don't like talking to people, to be honest. I like to be by myself doing my own thing. But the thing is, emails work because business owners have to look at their emails. They're forced to look at their emails. So a couple of things that you can do with emails, is, remember when I was saying find that specific niche? I always say craft a little avatar over here, craft a little avatar over here. What's this ideal client gonna look like? Is he a chick? Is he a dude? Do they have a lot of money? They're wearing a watch. Or really picture what the person will be looking like. Your ideal person that's buying your house. I remember talking to Annie over here, and we're talking about a couple of days ago where her ideal client was homeowners that have over $400,000 to buy a home. Typically, they come from California. Typically, they're Asian. Typically, they're like a single family household. So Annie has a great understanding of the ideal client that's coming in over here. We all need to have an idea of what our client looks like. Me personally, for Funnel Hacker Labs, I have 3 ideal clients on what my clients will look like for Funnel Hacker Labs. The first one over here is going to be, it's going to be a black guy that does credit repair, that has a family, that has a wife, has a couple of kids, they are living in maybe like Chicago or Philadelphia in a city. And this guy over here, he's very down to earth. He doesn't speak too professionally. He kind of speaks like me. He curses when he talks, but he's chill. He likes to talk business, likes to talk money. This guy might be wearing a Rolex. He might be driving Audi. He might have a 3-bedroom house with a pool in the back. Another ideal character might be, I don't know, whatever. What I'm trying to say is that literally draw it out, because you're going to find that the more in detail that you have in that ideal avatar, you're going to find that that person will come to you. Remember when I was talking about before, the power of self-belief, that the first step you need to do is believe in yourself. The first step you need to do is believe in this ideal avatar that's coming over to you. And you're going to find that, and I don't care if you guys are religious or not, but it's God, that if you ask God for this ideal character, that person's gonna come to you. That person will come to you. It's incredible, okay? And you need to be able to ask as if you already have received it. So, like I said, the power of self-belief. Like, I believe I'm gonna have this single family dude come over to me because he needs to automate his business, because he wants to take his wife and kids out to Florida, but he's too worked up in his business. He's too stuck in his business, and he needs to be able to put systems into place to push him out of the business so that he can go enjoy some martinis on the beach. He's not spending enough alone time with his wife and kids. He's spending too much time on his business and hustling and working on the grind, And what happens is I get those exact clients that come over to me. The people I think of come to me. The people that I want come to me just because of that. So I'm saying with emails, you got to do the same exact thing. You got to be thinking, all right, who are my ideal clients? I'm going to usually right now what I'm doing with my emails, my ideal clients are one of 3. It's credit repair, it's roofers. Roofers. All right, we got credit repair, we got roofers, and you would use solar, but I'm gonna say medical actually. So I tend to focus more on the medical field. Okay. These are like my 3 ideal niches over here that I absolutely love working with. Yeah, I do love working with real estate as well too. But this is where I have the most clients over. Okay. And what I find is that when I first narrow it down, I get a good understanding. But how emails work, what I found to really work really well with emails is doing a couple of things. First, you need to get a bunch of leads. Okay, pretty simple, right? There's a couple of ways of getting leads. First, leads. Okay, how do we get leads, Blade? How do we get leads? Yeah, you can offer freebies. You know, you put up on a bunch of Facebook groups, hey, I got this amazing video on how to do XYZ, amazing training, amazing template, ebook on how to do XYZ. Would you like to send, would like me to send it over to you? Put up a simple little landing page over there, in exchange that you give a freebie out for an exchange for an email. You know, pretty simple. Another thing is you can use lead scraping tools. There's plenty of lead scraping tools out there, in which case, for example, like D7 Lead Finder, you scrape out 100,000 leads really quick. You can start sending out leads, emails to them. You know, you can use virtual assistants. Virtual assistants can go to Google My Business, you know, can go to Yelp, can go to Google, can go, there's plenty of different softwares out there to be able to scrape leads. And if you need help finding a couple good names, just hit me up later. I don't want to waste your time with this, you know. But what I'm trying to say is that you first scrape them. So scrape or offer freebies. Those are usually the best ways to get leads. You know, when you offer freebies, it's a little bit more high quality over here. A little bit more high quality. When you scrape leads, the quality is a little lower. But the thing is, it's a lot easier like amount, number. Over here, or the freebie not gonna get as much as that when you scrape them. So it's kind of like a trade-off back and forth, you know. But the first thing, you're getting a whole bunch of leads. Great. Now, how are you gonna compose these emails? You know, what I've always found that really works is that when you're composing these emails in the subject, I always like to use their name. So if you're not already using a software that allows you to add custom fields, you need to switch over to go high level. In that case, links in the description. All right, make sure you use my affiliate link because then I feel more inclined to want to help you guys out. So I'm trying to say is that first subject line. Okay, I always try to have their name on there, and I always try to make sure that I provide value in the subject line. Okay, because people receive so much spam every single day, it's absolutely insane. So one thing for certain, for example, credit repair. I found that throughout putting social media out, putting content out there, putting videos out there, is that every single credit repair guy, immediately they're like, yo, Blade, I want to learn about Facebook ads, okay? So Facebook ads is what people want. It's not necessarily what people need, because there's a big difference in what people want and what they need. People buy what they want because emotion drives what they buy, the buying decision. They don't necessarily buy what they need, so you're going to have a lot better, you'll be a lot more successful is when you sell to them what they want, but provide them a mixture of what they want and need, okay? But what I'm trying to say is in that subject line, immediately you need to provide value. You know, I mean, yeah, add their name, but sometimes it does cost more to put their name on here in terms of spending time and money trying to put their name in the subject line, you know, in terms of scraping leads and using VAs and different things like that. So it's not necessarily mandatory to put their name in the subject line, but it definitely helps with open rates. Okay, just like when you're doing snail mail and you handwrite the address, it helps with open rates. Same thing with this. When you do the subject line, putting their name in there, it helps with open rates. So I'm trying to say is in that subject line, first, provide value. It's like when you're putting out a TikTok out there, you need within the first 3 seconds, you need to provide value, or at least the very least, show exactly what the video is talking about. You know, so for example, credit repair, what they want is Facebook ads. So the subject line, mine's probably gonna be like, yo, want to learn how we generate 600K in under 7 months with Facebook ads and AI. Okay. Hey, John, want to learn how we generate 600K in under 7 months with Facebook ads and AI? The reason why I'm saying that specifically is because I use that one and that's what works. Okay. What I'm trying to say is that, boom, that's what you got to do. Immediately provide value. Because if you're just like putting a random subject line out there, you know, you got to give people a reason to want to open up their email. The way it works is that kind of like ads, you know, on an ad, the picture gets them to read the headline, which gets them to read the primary text, which then convinces them, which persuades them to click on that ad. And then when the funnel, the actual funnel is what convinces them to fill out the lead form or convinces them to buy. You know, what I'm trying to say over here is that the subject line is what convinces them to open up the email. And on the email, now this is very different, but this is what works. Okay. You know, your boy Blade over here, your alpha funnel AI market over here, constantly wants to make you guys succeed because ultimately my entire mindset is the more money I make you, the more you're going to pay me. So I'm going to give you all my secrets over here. Is that on this first email over here, email numero uno, okay? Don't put out a link. And I learned this the hard way, okay? Don't put out a link. Because if you're sending out a cold email to somebody, specifically if it's a cold one, freebie is a little bit different. But when you're sending out an email to somebody, especially if it's a cold one, don't put out a link, especially in the first email, because that's what's going to happen is it's going to flag it. Boom, 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 flag. Oh no, X. It's in the email filters, especially if you're sending out to Gmail and stuff like that. Gmail has a very strict filtration system in Gmail. So if you're sending out emails and it has like links on the first email going to this random person that's never received the email from you again, it's probably gonna flag it. It probably gonna put into junk. Overall, just decreasing your email score. So a couple of things to kind of go around that is first, warming up your email. There's a bunch of AI softwares that allows you to send emails back and forth. Ultimately, to just warm up the email, allow to actually get to land in people's inboxes. And second thing is, don't use links in the first email. Rather, say, hey, here is how I generate 600K in under 7 months with Facebook ads and AI. Want me to send you a more in-detailed video on how it works? Now, this is the funnel. Is you're going to ask them, do you want me to send a video? Boom. You're sending the video over here. And now this is kind of where it gets fun over here. Because there's an AI software out there. We talked about this, I think, maybe 3 or 4 strategy sessions back. In which case, it allows you to send Zoom emails to people with custom values. In which case, you send a Zoom email to somebody and the entire background, you might have a pre-recorded message, but the background changes based upon their website. So let's say you're sending out, I don't know, let's say 100 people responded to this first email over here. Okay, let's say 100 over here. So instead of recording a video 100 different times, making 100 different personalized videos, you record one video using the AI software that changes out the background to their website. So it looks like it's a personal video because they're going to see their website on it. Plus, of course, in the thumbnail of the video, they're going to see their own website in the thumbnail, which is just going to increase the chance of them actually watching the video. What I'm trying to say is that you're going to send them over a video. And that video, don't make it longer than 3 to 5 minutes. Do not make it longer than 3 to 5 minutes. People don't want to watch long videos anymore. That's not a thing. Maybe a VSL, but really, honestly, I haven't really found that conversions are really that great, or at least worth it, if the video is anything more than 10 minutes. Okay. On Facebook video, on YouTube videos, we're just providing value to get people to schedule calls, totally different, but that's another video. What I'm trying to say is that first email over here, you say, hey, if you want this, send me an email back. Send me a reply yes back. Then on a reply back, then you send them over this video over here, okay? And on that video, when you send them over here, you're gonna be like, all right, if you like what I have, schedule a call over here. And they're gonna schedule. And then you're going to sell them. Boom, boom, boom. And what I find is that when you're doing these email sequences out here, this is one, you're gonna have another one, and you're gonna have a third one. Especially if it's a cold email, don't really go more than 3 emails going to these people. I'd rather you do your 2 or 3 email sequence and then go on to new leads rather than bombarding these people with 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 20, 30 different emails. Okay, because that's just look like spam. If they don't want what you have to offer within the first 3 emails, they're probably not going to want to have what you have to offer within the next 20, 30, 50 emails. Don't spam them. Okay. Because this is also going to bring them onto it's going to want to then flag you for spamming over there. Another sip of my coffee. But yeah, that's what I find to work when it comes to emails is, find a specific niche, like always, come up with your ideal avatar, scrape leads or offer freebies on like Facebook groups, maybe even your social media, offer freebies, putting together a simple funnel to be able to offer a freebie. It's literally just 3-page funnel. And you're so lucky that Funnel Hacker Labs builds out funnels within 24 to 48 hours at cost, as if you're white labeling our design on demand. Join Funnel Hacker Labs, get our white label funnel design on demand team, and in 24 to 48 hours, we'll build you out a landing page that offers the freebie. Maybe the next page over here might be, so you offer the freebie over here is like fill out the lead form over here. And the next page is like a thank you page, and then an invite to Facebook group. You know, free funnels, I always like to invite them over to the community, because in the community you can recurrently sell them more and more times. You know, but that's a video for another, that's the topic for another video. I think I already made a video on that actually. What I'm trying to say is that boom, leads over here, you're getting offering freebies, or you're scraping them. Next thing over here, key points in the subject on the actual email copy is in the subject line. Try to get their name on there on the subject line, but it's not mandatory. It usually just costs more money / time or resources. In the actual subject line, make sure you really get your offer across, that you're providing value, as if it's like a short form video. You know, on the very beginning of the video, immediately show what the offer is, immediately provide value, so it convinces them to actually read the email. You know, 600K in 7 months with Facebook ads and AI chatbots. Boom, reads the email. On the actual first email, you say, hey, I have X, Y, and Z, but in order to get it, send me over an email, and I'm gonna send you over a training. Do not put a link on that first email. No way, don't do that. It's gonna put you into the spam. You know, then you're gonna send them over a video. On that video, use the customized video, really add personality on there. The software that I use to do that, I think it's called like Video. What it does is it allows you to be able to put their website or their social media or their AI or the Facebook page in the back. Oh, RepliQ right here. This is a good one over here. This is what I use. Well, this is one of the ones that uses. There's plenty of different softwares out there. You know, you guys know how it is. Let me share the screen real quick. But something like this software over here allows you to be able to create personalized emails to people. So if like 100 people reply to that, you're gonna have, instead of recording 100 different videos to everybody, because that can be really annoying. That's what I used to do back when I was in college. But now it's even easier. Life is great, you know. We got AI now, so you record one video now and put like 100 different websites in the background, so it seems as if, you know, we're making personalized outreach videos to every single person, but really we're just recording it once, using the software to change out the backgrounds of it, you know. And in addition to that, by having their website on there, it's to increase the chances of them actually watching the video, because people are like naturally conceited. They want to see their own SHIT. So as soon as they see the website, they're like, oh, that's pretty cool. I want to check out my video that this guy made for me. So I'm trying to say is, yeah, get them to reply with the video, and from there, you know, you schedule them into a call. You know, do no more than really a 2-3 step email sequence, in which case first email comes out maybe a day or two later, second email maybe another day or two later, then you send out the third email. Any more than that, your offer really isn't for them. Just send the offer out to different people. But really that comes down to, hey, is your offer converting? If it's not going out to those people, if it's going out to those people, you send your offer out to like 5,000 people and you're not getting a single person to schedule a call, if that even watch the video, then you have a problem with the offer, and it's a whole other video. Now, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that this helped provide you some value. Hopefully you're all absolutely killing it in your businesses. Hopefully this gives you some more ideas to absolutely kill it in your business. And hopefully this will allow you to be able to automate, elevate, and then liberate you from your business. Now, guys, I'm gonna pause out this recording. If you guys have any questions, please let me know really quick. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Any questions before I hop off, guys? Does that all kind of make sense? Everybody's muted here. Well,
Hey, Blake.
hey, Eddie, how you doing?
Doing great, thank you. Perfect. Hey, I really wanted to thank you regarding the mindset and how important it is for us to override those beliefs that we have and shape our mindset or way of thinking to a different way. One of the reasons I really enjoy being on this chat, on this group, on this community, is because I am surrounding myself with a new generation, a young generation, people can have a different way of thinking. And in addition to that, they bring so much energy to the marketplace, to the workplace, and in addition to educate. It doesn't matter how many degrees do I have, is giving myself permission to hear from people who is right behind exchange, behind the all those technologies making things happen. So that invitation about starting and approaching with ourselves, believing in who we are, in our capability, that you can improve, grow, and not only grow alone, it's grow in a community. And also there will be something that we will contribute to the new generation, the next generation. So thank you for that emphasis. And second, regarding the action is believing and acting. I have a conversation with your team last week where I was like almost lost. I didn't understand. I am used to have different ways of following leads. And now that I have the opportunity to have the funnel and track who is calling me, what they want, and follow out in one-to-one basis, is telling me that is based in building a relationship with clients. So, and something that I also appreciate was the follow-up from you guys. You immediately track, hey, Annie something is not going well with Annie. So let's track with her, let's monitor with her, and let's ask for the feedback. So things like that is starting a relationship as a business owner and keeping that relationship for a long-term solution, because this is the reason we are here. You want to provide solutions to me as a client, and I am also here to provide real estate solutions to my clients. So thank you, guys. It's a very nice opportunity for us to learn and share. Thank you.
Absolutely, Annie, and you're completely right. Like just like you said, first thing comes with belief. Another thing too is overall just being a student too. I really found. And when I was talking to you, I think a couple of days ago, I mean, you were teaching me a lot about real estate too, like secretly. So I was really grateful about that. And the entire point of this community is that ultimately we can kind of all help each other as well too. My first minds in this is that my LLC is called the Project Alpha. And the reason why I call it the Project Alpha is because the Alpha, I consider that as the very pinnacle, the very top. And what we need to do as like individuals, as people, we're always trying to just grow and get better and learn and become students. And the very day that you stop becoming a student is the very day that you kind of like lose, So even when I was talking to you, Annie, like I learned a lot from you. And I'm sure you probably also learned a lot from us too. So I'm really, really grateful that we have you here, Annie. I'm really grateful that we have everybody else here. And overall, let's just continue to build this amazing community where we all just help each other out. If you guys have questions, any advice that you want to give me to how I can make my stuff better, let me know. I'm all for that. I want to grow. I want the community to grow. I want everybody to grow. I do see us all as like this tribe that we're all have a common goal to help other people, to help themselves, to build businesses, to build freedom and build happiness, build wealth, and just all together, So to kind of end off my rant, I'm gonna thank you all just for being here, being students, allowing me to kind of show this to you guys as well too, Annie. Of course, always thank you for those kind words. You're amazing, Annie, and everybody else here as well too. And yeah, power of self-belief is the most important thing. If anybody else has anything they want to share, if not, we're gonna kindly end this off. Thank you and happy Sunday. Thank you too, Annie. You're the best. We love you guys. All right, thank you guys. We'll talk to you guys later. The recording will be up within the next couple of hours. You should also be able to receive your email. Dom, if you aren't in the Facebook group already, I'll make sure I send you out a link over there as well too. I want to thank you all for watching. Have a great day and enjoy your weekend, guys.